xRhythms.
Hi, I'm Yovella. I'm a student studying theology at Oxford.
And I'm Rejoice, and I have graduated, sobs. I missed that part of my life.
Today we're going to be talking about kind of whether or not you should defer your first year of uni. We're going to be trying to talk about different things that you would need to be considering in making this decision.
I think it would be awesome just chatting about all these different options and stuff that are out there, and especially given the current times that we live in too. Should we first start talking about subjects? So start off with like your degree, how you feel that would look like next year.
Yeah, okay, so I study theology, so that's a humanities subject. So I've been doing this term online, and it hasn't looked too different to my regular term. Well, the main differences would be I don't have access to libraries. Getting hold of kind of books is a little bit more difficult, but at the moment, over the past few months, a lot more stuff is being made available online, which is really helpful. With a humanities subject, studying online is easier because with science subject, you have lab works and you can't really do that from home. And as well with like placement subjects, so if you're thinking about doing, what if you've applied to do like nursing or midwifery or even teaching, it might be difficult to sort out placements, so it's definitely worth seeing what your university's policy is for that. I can only speak for Oxford, but I know that they're definitely planning to go ahead with labs and trying to make sure that as much of that is open and as accessible as possible.
Has there been loads of support just in this last semester for you in terms of like that self-teaching, and do you feel like you've had the things you needed in order to get the information you need for like exams and the coursework and things like that?
I think that's an interesting question, because I think when you get to university you'll find that learning is a lot more independent than it is at A level, and so that is something that you have to learn to do anyway, to kind of find the information that you need and to figure out how to do it. I definitely found that we've had quite a few emails from different libraries giving us advice about what's available online and kind of teaching us how to access different journals. But I think more generally, tutors are generally a bit more aware that if a lot of work is being done online and there's less face-to-face contact, then I think there is more support available for that, because that's the main way of teaching yourself at the moment.
I had a look at like my uni and what they are sort of like doing, and they have decided to like open up the doors again quite soon, but what they've done is they've come up with a few different options, because they know that there are people who are going to want to come into uni and want to do everything, you know, as you normally do, like attend the lectures, the seminars, that kind of thing. But then they also know that there are other people who might not feel like they want to come in yet, like they don't feel like it's safe enough to come in, so they've come up with like an option for those type of people, and also come up with an option for people who want to maybe start learning from their own house or from another location, and then later on in the semester join in again. And so for the people who are planning to be on campus, they've decided to sort of, I don't know if it's scrap lectures altogether, but turn it into smaller groups, so they have more seminars and things like that where there'll be less people with a teacher.
I think we'll definitely find everything is online, as well as if things are going on in real life, they'll be recorded and made available online for people who don't want to be there in person, which I think is great, because the last 2 years my lectures haven't been recorded, and I tell you, having them online is honestly a game changer. You can slow it down, speed it up, rewind. It's so much easier to learn from that. But yeah, no, more seminars sounds great in person, because you have the smaller group. You go straight from having all classes at sixth form to like just lectures and your own reading and writing essays, and it's a little bit, there's less conversation had. But in seminars I think it's a bit more reminiscent of the sixth form experience, which sounds like a good idea.
Definitely, I think it will make the transition a lot more easier. You mentioned earlier about like placements and things. So one thing that we're sort of like doing here is virtual placements. And I know there are some courses that won't be able to do that, but I do still think that it's awesome that the companies, it looks like, are making the sort of like this decision and putting things in place for those virtual placements, and being aware that this is a thing that might part of what the world might look like going forward.
I've definitely seen opportunities for like online internships. I think that's a big thing for humanities students often. If there's not necessarily a job that you're lined up to go into, it's helpful to apply for different internships. I know for some people who were supposed to be doing placements this term, they've had like their degree moved about a bit, so they're doing theory this term and they'll be doing placements hopefully next term if kind of labs open up again and they can start doing that. So I think also find degrees are a lot more flexible over the coming year as people try and figure out the best way to do it. The friends you make in Freshers Week might not be the best friends. Get to know people from as many different things as you can.
There will definitely be stuff to do in society. You won't get that whole like rugby culture probably as soon as...
Yeah, it's a good thing.
They do some crazy stuff.